Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to say it. Apologetics is just dishonest. There's no other way I can put it. I mean, clearly you're going to find decent, good people that are in that avenue. I would have considered myself that, even though I struggled. And of course, I had things I had to outgrow and learn and cut off from my own life as I learned more about where I'm at and what I think about the world. But the more I engage and see apologetics in action, the less I really want anything to do with that and to just focus on critical scholarship, research, comparative mythology, because everything I do with this channel, I do to try and help people see a bigger picture, to educate for that bigger picture so that people can actually find peace and know that, hey, actually, this is another one of these. Why is this one special and all of these aren't? Really, if you're going to play the Christianity's unique card, they're all unique, but they're all human. And that is my goal in many cases, to show you so that the chains, that the shackles on one's mind and what you think and the freedom you can experience from that can be there. That doesn't mean I want everyone to be an atheist like me. You must think like me in every aspect. But getting away from apologetics, fundamentalism, super conservative forms of Christianity that I think are toxic and dishonest to the core, yeah, that's where I'm at right now in 2025 at the beginning of this year. I've watched the unraveling of what happened recently with Wes Huff and Billy Carson. Disagree with both of their conclusions. But the treatment that they did toward Billy really made me go, what kind of Christian community is this? Rather than reconcile or try to be loving as they preach in the New Testament, as an analogy would be, Paul persecuted Christians, but their supposed unconditional love caused him to end up converting, or somehow he was persuaded to become a Christian in their view, right? And I'm thinking to myself, you guys are trying to destroy Billy. You're not actually showing any love and compassion. Just oxymoron watching them in action. So I've made the comments and engaged with that. And to say with Billy's recent, I'm not going to debate people kind of video. Look, I don't like debating people. If you just read a little bit about the sophist in history, when Plato's complaining about these people who literally train themselves to become bullshit con artists. All they do is have great words and they speak eloquently, but they toss nothing but dung out of their lips. That's what they're arguing. They're arguing. It's almost what early lawyers and prosecutors would do in court, and they still do to this day. If you have someone who could speak well enough and communicate well enough, they can persuade you, even if it's not factual or the evidence isn't there. So it's a sword fight, it's a combat battle, and it's an entertainment gladiator ring for people to sit back and eat popcorn. Oh, he made him look stupid. But truth is, 99% of the people watching this are not in it for facts and actual evidence. They're in it like you're watching a boxing ring to see who wins the fight. It's not about evidence. This is why I don't get into those kind of arenas. And I'm also, I have a special honed in observation on history and mythology and Bible. And now I'm expanding that to the classical world. I want to go deeper into Mesopotamia and Egypt. I love these ancient stories. But loving these stories and taking them back from people monopolizing them as if they own these stories and these are their books and they have the correct understanding of all this, that's what I'm undoing. I'm trying to undo that, because I think that if we had people today who are diehard Zeus apologists or Dionysus apologists or whatever, we would be doing the same thing with this. If I came out of a belief in that, I would be combating that in the sense of trying to show people, listen, Dionysus isn't going to cook you in hell forever, or whatever harmful kind of theology could have come from that. Now, addressing the IP thing. This guy did a hit piece trying to talk about, I'm the dishonest liar because I made 2 mistakes, and I open and honestly up front addressed those mistakes and said, yeah, actually, you're right. I got the chronology wrong on the when you spoke to Joshua Bowen on In Honest Dissent, because Joshua Bowen actually just thought that, hold on, I already told him that. Why is he doing this? And the other one was him correcting himself. Remember now, he did this conference 8 months ago, giving the wrong date. Then he repeats the wrong date. Then he corrects himself. I didn't see that in that live stream where he corrected himself on saying, oh, I meant 2nd century, but we still have a 3rd century manuscript. So no matter what, let me be right. Even if I'm wrong, I'll be right. And so at the end of the day, I just realized, what is the point in engaging them except the entertainment and excitement of viewers who actually check out these videos and they like to see a fight and they want to see blood, and that's why they tune in. I like just educating and helping people to find freedom more than even engaging with people who have such a devoted agenda for their claims are true and everyone else is wrong. I came out of that. I've combated that. I've engaged with that. And I think it's a waste of time in terms of seriously seeing someone change or things actually changing. I think it just doubles down the cognitive dissonance of people on the other side. They're just going to believe their hero, as I saw happen with Wes, even when Wes was dead wrong. And he was wrong because he was working off of a short clip that he didn't actually go and fact check the data. Still, his followers are showing up in my comment section and they're still addressing we're wrong and liars and that he was right. And get this, rather than doing a public video expressing and explaining how he was wrong, being open about where he made mistakes so that his viewers can stop being honestly ignorant in my comments, he just takes the video down. That'll solve it. We didn't tell him to take the video down. He thinks that's going to alleviate it. No. Now you're going to have people running around going, what are you talking about? Wes never did anything. He never lied. It's like, dude, he made a huge blunder, but he's riding the Joe Rogan wave and stuff like that. And he's riding Billy's wave and, and good for him. They think I'm riding Wes's wave. Well, there's a lot of noise. Am I not allowed to comment on that? Am I not allowed to see observations and make critiques? I think it's so dishonest the way that I get criticized by a lot of the fans of Wes when he openly said he was wrong and they still don't get it. Which tells me this is their identity and it's a crisis. This is a real serious thing for them. So between inspiring philosophy, which I have decided to just back off completely and have nothing to do, that doesn't mean I won't be criticizing videos at some point when I'm making a point in my own videos as I'm educating. But I really, really wonder, is it even worth having engagement with these people anymore at all, with these apologists? I just don't know what the point is. I think their entire job is, I have a conclusion, I'm going to defend the conclusion because I have a starting point, I believe this, and I'm going to defend this stuff at all costs. And then when you actually nail them on things as slavery in the Bible, well, actually it's slavery, but it's not that kind of slavery. Or it's really, really bad, but God didn't have that as the end goal. So it was just a stepping stone, as if God couldn't change the laws. And the guy could flood the whole world. He can do whatever he wants. And it just, the more and more you engage it, the more you realize we're not dealing with reality. We're dealing with people who are playing games like the sophists of old, who are able to play word games and make you feel good about your conclusions, and that's pretty much it. So I like to anchor myself with PhDs. I like to do that. Look, I'm about to have surgery in a couple days, and it's pretty significant surgery. I wanted to make this video before I go into surgery so that you at least have my voice in case who knows what. Life happens. People come and go. I wanted you to have my voice just here to tell you I love you. I really appreciate you being here and supporting everything we're doing. I want to do more documentaries to give a well-polished teaching lesson and argument. I also wanted to let you know what I'd like to start doing more. And I really want to be more engaging with you guys. So I'm really considering getting active in Discord and having more conversations with our inner group and start having that community where we're able to dialogue and cover ideas. So if apologetic stuff does come up amongst people who are like-minded, we can nip that stuff or we can address that, or our community can kind of explain some of these things if someone's going through a transitional phase out of that kind of nonsense into a much more broadened position. The other thing I want to make very blunt, very clear from me on my personal journey, I don't want to be the guy who goes, you're either like me and think like me as an atheist, or you're not part of my community. This isn't me. You can be theistic, you can be pantheistic, you can be atheistic, agnostic. I don't care. What I care about is the harmful aspects of your particular worldviews, getting to a place where we can find common ground, where we're treating people kindly and treating women right, treating people who are not, that are minorities, that are not like us, or haven't had the same fortunes we've had in this world, showing kindness and love in the real way of doing that. And it doesn't matter at the end of the day if you think there might be something out there. To me, really, it's, are you actually a kind person, and are you not doing dishonest nonsense with your religion, weaponizing it in a way, acting like without it, we would all lose, we'd have nothing, and there's no morality, and there's nothing without this particular religion. That's absurd. My research has been showing me that's just not only absurd, it's insane to start thinking this way. It's harmful to have that be the case for your own mentality. The way you frame your entire worldview and view others is really damaged with that kind of mindset. I want to try to better things the best I can through bringing in as many academics, smart people who know this research, because I love history. So it's not just one thing I want to do. I love learning the past. And I know that many of you viewers do as well. And I truly want to try to pivot away from so much of the apologetic stuff and get back into rigorous academic research, studying in the weeds of some of this material, going into Bible, classics, Mesopotamian mythology, Hittite mythology, stories about Homer, comparative mythology. That's stuff I absolutely love. It's one of my favorite things to do. And I think that when you're competing or arguing against apologists or living your life focused on that, you become toxic in the process. And I don't live my life toxic. It's so much more peaceful when you don't have to address those things. So stay on the lookout. Documentaries coming, more interviews coming. We are addressing some of the things we saw that were at least mostly correct or on the right path from Billy Carson versus over Wes Huff with the Syriologist Joshua Bowen. That'll be unraveling, because once I have my surgery, I'll be releasing these videos to keep content out there for you while I'm trying to recover. And what else would I like to tell you before I let you go? Oh, that's right. Never forget. We are Myth Vision.